Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to the October 23rd, 2024 Board of Education Regulars Board meeting. I'd like to start this meeting by recognizing with respect the school district's business is being conducted on the traditional and unceded territories of the Gitxsan, Haisla, Nisga'a, and Tsimshian people. With Julia coming in from, I believe, Vancouver this time, isn't it, Julia? I'm not quite sure. And being unceded. And it would be a price. Okay, the Squamish, Musqueam, and Gitxsan and Waisan peoples. Thank you to Kitwanga Elementary School for hosting us, and the principal is here to join us. We'll introduce everybody as we go around. We appreciate you welcoming us into your school and coordinating the visit with us. Warm welcome to those on the Zoom call, and the meeting is also live streamed through the school district's YouTube channel. And now we have Janet on the screen, nobody else, or less of everybody else.
Our thing is not working.
So we'll start with myself. I'm Margaret Orcutt. I'm your school board trustee for Terrace area and the board chairperson, and I'll start with Karen tonight.
Hi everyone, Karen Yonkman, trustee from Kitimat.
Ed Harrison, trustee from Terrace.
And first on the screen is Mike.
Yeah, Mike Maxim, I'm trustee for Thornhill.
Second. Can you introduce yourself, Julia?
Oh, sorry, Margaret, you're breaking up. It's Julia Sundell, trustee for Hazelton.
Wayne? Okay, he said trustee for Stewart, and he's echoing out as well. So I'll turn to Tracy and ask her to introduce herself and your staff.
Thank you. So Tracy McMillan, superintendent of schools, my third week. So I would just like to thank everyone for the very kind welcome and the opportunity to work here with our schools and a fabulous team. So I will ask them to introduce themselves, and sort of on the left on the screen, we see Philip.
Amasa, hi everyone. Philip Aaron, district principal. The audio is good for the most part, but it kind of kicked out a couple of times there, just to let you know.
Thank you, Philip. And Tina.
Amasa, everyone. Tina McDonald, district principal. Nice to join you all today.
Thank you, Tina. And Julia.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Julia Nakaz, Director of Instruction and Learner Support.
Thank you, Julia. And Janet.
Good afternoon, Janet Meyer, interim superintendent.
And do I introduce everyone, or Ginger, do you introduce your team?
I can just do my one first.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Ginger Fuller, secretary treasurer. And Karen, go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Kiran Bath, Director of HR. Nice to see you all.
Great, thank you. Terry, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm coming to you from Haisla territory in Kitimat, and I am the president of the Kitimat District Teachers Association and co-president of Coast Mountain Teachers Association. So thank you.
Thank you. And before I really get into trouble, Carol Gagnon is right behind me and she can introduce herself.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Carol Gagnon, executive assistant. Thank you, Margaret.
You're welcome. Troy, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Troy Peters, chair of the School District 82 DPAC.
Welcome. And Cheryl? Cheryl, are you hearing us? Can you introduce yourself? Or welcome to the meeting? No, okay. And we have the principal of the school here welcoming us as well. Did you want to say it? You introduce yourself a bit?
Sure. I'm Cassia Namath, the principal here at Kitwanga Elementary, and also Cheryl is a parent to one of our students. Actually.
Oh, well, welcome Cheryl as a parent. Yes, we really appreciate parents coming in and listening. Just as a note with that, we take questions at the end of the meeting, not at the beginning after we've gone through our agenda. But a couple of announcements before we get started. First of all, October is National Principal and Vice Principals Month. And as we know, when we're celebrating this in October, how essential the role of principals and vice principals play in making school a great place for all of our students and our teachers. Every day they lead our teachers and support staff to fulfill our commitments to our students. We express our gratitude to our principals and vice principals for their vision, leadership, dedication to providing success for all learners and the positive investment they bring in their lives for each of our students. October 5th is World Teachers Day. And in honor of World Teachers Day on October 5th, we acknowledge the incredible teachers in our Coast Mountain School District. On World Teachers Day and every day, we celebrate teachers and give thanks for all they do to support our students. Have positively impact our lives. One moment, Janet's gonna put something up there.
Sorry about that, Chair.
Yeah, it's okay. Give her 2 minutes here and we'll figure out. She's going to share something with us. Yeah. Great messages in there. Thank you, Janet. Yeah. So also a couple of other days are celebrated in October. World Mental Health Day is October 10th. This day aims to raise awareness and spotlight the importance of mental health in education and also in all of our lives. We know that taking care of our physical health is important to keep our bodies strong and healthy, but it is also important to take care of our mental health. Mental health includes emotional, psychological, and social well-being, which means it affects how we think and feel and act. It also determines how we handle stress in our lives, relate to others, and it impacts the choices that we make. That lastly, too, because I'm going to put in another one as well. October is Community Inclusion Month in BC. And during Community Inclusion Month, we take time to reflect and celebrate diversity in the people we support in our schools and in our community. Throughout this month, we highlight how inclusive workplaces, inclusive education, inclusive housing, and inclusive communities create happier and healthier societies. Diversity and inclusion are about giving value to every human being, no matter our differences. Join us in sharing your support with people with diverse abilities across all aspects of our world. So then I added a little other note because I started this morning with the lecture that today is actually World Polio Day, and the effect of polio on children, luckily not in our schools, but in Afghanistan, is really impactful right now. It's under huge challenges. Of course, there's also war and other poverty and things happening there. But as we're thinking about children and you know, honoring our principals and vice principals and things like that, it's a complex world where we have to think of what we can do for the best of everybody. So thank you for the work that our educators do and our schools do to look after our children. So that was my note, other than we'll take questions at the end of the meeting, and trustees will be asked to share information. And the next meeting is Wednesday, November 19th at 5 p.m. in the Board Education office. So I would like now to declare that we have a quorum. That's number 2, and request a motion to approve the agenda. Do I have someone who would like to so move? Or yeah, Julia, thank you. Seconder, and all in favor of the motion. I see hands. I don't see Wayne anymore. He's blacked out, but Wayne, speak up or do something if you're not agreeing, and I'll say the motion is passed. Okay, 4.1, approval of the minutes, the regular board meeting of September 25th. Oh, Mike, did you vote? I'm sorry. I can't see there. Did you agree with the agenda? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Good, thanks. Approval of the minutes of 4.1, September 25th, 2024. A motion to approve, please. Ed? Seconder? Karen? Any questions on the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes of September 25th? Mike, I saw your hand up. Julia? And we're still not seeing Wayne, but I'll get him to shout if it's a problem. Okay, the minutes are passed. And we go to the summary of the in-camera meeting, September 25th. A motion to approve these minutes. Karen? Seconder? Julia, thank you. All in favor of approval of the in-camera minutes? It's passed. Thank you. Mike, I'm assuming you're not voting on the in-camera minutes?
No, I have no idea what happened at the in-camera meeting. Oh, yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can. Do you want that recorded that you abstained?
I don't care one way or the other.
Okay, thank you. Business arising from the minutes on page 15 to 17 is the response letter to ITEC. And it's just a motion to receive this letter of response after their presentation to us last board meeting. So would somebody so moves that the board response letter provided to the Intertribal Education Committee in follow-up to their presentation at the regular public board meeting held September 25th, 2024 be received for information? Karen? Second is Ed. He got his hand up. Any questions on the letter? Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, did you just write that letter and send it off, or did you have board input into it?
There was input into the letter because it was done in camera and it's now just coming public.
Thank you.
Other questions? All in favor of receipt of this letter? Pass, thank you. Okay. 7.1, page 18. And, oh, and I'm doing this one. Kitsilano notice to apply to the model local education agreement. And page 18, for trustees information, please find the attached letter received October 7th, 2024 from the Kitsilano Indian Band addressed to the Honorable Rashna Singh, Minister of Education and Childcare, and to Board Chair Margaret Workup requesting formal notice to apply the model local education agreement effective July 1st, 2024 between the Kitsilano Indian Band and Coast Mountains School District 82. The formal request is made pursuant to sections 86.1 and 86.2 of the BC School Act and the Model Local Education Agreement Regulation BC 86-2024. I require a motion that the board receive the letter dated October 7th, 2024 from the Kitsilano Indian Band providing formal notice to apply the Model Local Education Agreement between Kitsilano Indian Band and the Coast Mountain School District 82 effective July 1st, 2024. May I have somebody so move? Ed, a seconder? Karen? Any questions for administration on this? And following all the legal processes that we need to do. All in favor of receipt? Pass, thank you. Okay. Superintendent of Schools Monthly Report, number 8.
Thank you. So I'd like to submit the report as is and just highlight a few items, starting with the end of September 30th. So some of us had the opportunity to be in Kitimat for the Haisla Bridge pole raising, and that was part of the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. And in spite of the weather, and it was quite wet, it was pouring rain, but there was a huge turnout to celebrate this. And Nathan Wilson was the artist, and he was able to actually explain each part of the pole and the importance and the connection with the land. And again, a number of community members out and from the nation, and just it was expressed how important this was as part of the ongoing reconciliation efforts between the district, the Haisla, the community, just really, really well done and celebrated. World Mental Health Day was October 10th, and there's a number of programs that take place and are also available to students, to staff. There's links on our website as well as in this report. And also I'd just like to thank Julia for her work on this. It falls in her portfolio area. So thank you very much, Julia, with your help and support in the schools. Also on October 7th, a number of district staff, teachers, school admin went out to the GitMax meet and greet, and this was a huge celebration, very important, about the Gitsan immersion class that's taking place at the school. So it was a community event. It was well attended, and again, I thank the community and our staff, the district, the support. A project like this really shows what can happen when we engage in strong partnerships. So congratulations goes out to everyone for that. Last week, we had the opportunity to meet with all of our principals and vice principals, and very timely, as October, again, as Margaret referenced, is National Principals Month. So we really do extend our gratitude to all of our school administrators for the efforts and time. And, you know, if you drive by our schools, you'll see vehicles there early in the morning, late at night, Our principals, they attend sporting events and functions to support the teachers and students and staff of the school. It was a really good learning day as well. And again, I'd like to thank a lot of our team and the principals. It was really a good day filled with professional learning and relationship building. World Teachers Day, again, October 5th. We thank our teachers. They have positively impacted our students and their lives every single day when they're working in our schools, inside and out, extracurricular. So again, a huge thanks to all of our teachers and educators in our schools. And I have started my school visits, reaching the halfway point with the goal of visiting every single school by the end of October. So I've been in classrooms and meeting our children and the teachers who are very proud of the work that's taking place. So again, our thanks go out to them. Really important, tied in with our retention and recruitment of teachers, is the mentorship program for new teachers. So this takes place and looks differently in our schools. It could be teacher pairings, it could be programs, as well as in-service and support from the district level. And I'd like to thank Philip for his leadership in this area, and it falls within his portfolio. Thank you, Philip, for your support with this in our schools. Also, just pointing out, October, a lot of the IEP meetings are taking place with school teams and parents in our schools, and literacy initiatives. So quite a bit of work has gone into new and extending literacy initiatives in all of our schools. And K-3 teachers, they have all been in service with a new program. As well as this year, the 4, 5, and 6 teachers, there will be continuous in-service for that. And I'd like to thank Tina for taking the lead on this and supporting our admin and teachers in this initiative. So thank you very much, Tina. And also, really important for our school communities to also know that once again, parents and caregivers can access the Student Support Fund assistance for school fees and other costs related to the school. So this can mean covering costs of school supplies, things like winter clothing, participation in field trips and school-based extracurricular or cultural activities, and more. So again, there's a link in this report as well as on the website. Thank you to Ginger and her team, and Carol as well, to making sure that this rolls out to families. And also it is supported by LNG Canada, so we want to thank them as well. And I'd also like to sort of say a special thank you to Janet Meyer, who has been a huge assistance during my transition into the district, as well as helping out in other areas and other portfolios. So thank you, Janet. And again, our great team. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I have a motion that the Superintendent of Schools monthly report to the regular board meeting of October 23rd, 2024 be received as presented. Karen? Seconder, Julia? Any questions for the superintendent? Mike, you have a question?
I have 4 or 5 questions, and I'd like to express an appreciation as well. On page 53 of our agenda package, there's a reference to in-service Acadians, and I'm not familiar with what in-service means.
So if you're comfortable, you can answer, or you can answer the questions back to Mike afterwards. It's your choice. Yeah.
Yeah, I can answer. Can you answer? Yeah. what in-service means? In-service means training for teachers. In-service means training.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Now on page 52 of the same agenda, it says an IEP need not be a lengthy document, but must include evidence of planning for student needs, demonstrate a plan to utilize varied instructional strategies and or assessment procedures, and list clear goals for future activities and planning. It is necessary to have an IEP to focus a child's learning activity, aid in the facilitation of communication, and to provide inter-team and interagency accountability. I'm wondering, would you agree that that sounds like a reasonable strategy for every student?
No. Yeah, IEPs are, we'll get back to you to explain IEPs. I'll have Julia, I'll ask Julia Nygaard, who's in charge of that for our district, to get back to you to explain the role of IEPs versus every student. I don't think we can fully answer it now. It'll take a while.
Thank you. I have a couple more questions, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, now on page 50 and at the Gittin Max meet and greet, it refers to the Gitxsan Wet'suwet'en Educational Society and the GWES First Nations High School. And it also refers to the Kispiox Community School staff. And I'm not familiar with either of those two schools. Could you tell me where they are?
Janet, can you answer? They're independent band schools in the Hazeltons in Kispiox, and GWES is a high school downtown Hazelton, and they're independent of the school district.
Okay, and also on the other same page under a photograph, it says Gittin Max meet and greet with Hazelton Secondary School teachers. So my question was kind of about the new school that they're building in. I don't know where the line is, Kispiox or Kitwanga.
Kitwanga.
Yeah. Okay, they're building a new school there. Is that school completed?
Not yet. Not yet
Okay.
completed.
Is there a danger that we'll be losing teachers to their new schools?
I'll let the superintendents answer, or we don't know yet.
We wouldn't know that yet.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
All right, thank you. I just express some appreciation. It says on page 48, which is in your own personal message, it says, to be a steward is to lead by example. To lead is to inspire. To inspire is to communicate. And I appreciate that statement. And it does remind me of something that I say occasionally. I say, a leader inspires, a bully forces. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll now move to, oh, did we vote? Yes, we.
All in favor?
I had it moved by Karen and Julia. Can we vote all in favor of the report being received? Thank you. Passed. All right. And now move to the Indigenous Education Report on pages 55 to 59. And I believe Janet is going to present that report for us. Thank you, Board Chair. I let the report stand as you see it in front of you. What I would like to take the opportunity to highlight is that we have this evening recognized the good work of many people in our district, including principals and vice principals and teachers. I would like to take time to recognize those individuals who support the work within schools. CUPE individuals. As it relates to the Indigenous Education Department, I'd like to recognize the work of Indigenous support workers. We have Indigenous support workers in every single school, and those individuals are working tirelessly towards closing the achievement gap
between Indigenous students and their non-Indigenous counterparts. And they have been in-serviced as to some new technology that allows them to track student achievement and track their interactions with students. And I just wanted to not only recognize Indigenous support workers, but all employees of the school district that assume a support role, whether it be that of a custodian, an educational assistant, or a clerical person in the school. They are all very important, and I recognize them tonight.
Thank you. We have a motion that the board receive for information the Indigenous Education Report for October 2024. Someone so moved, Karen and Ed. Any questions? Julia, you have a question?
Yeah, I just had one. Janet, you mentioned a student tracking achievement platform. What is that system and who owns the data?
We own the data, and the platform is called EdPlan Insight. And the work started with EdPlan Insight, I believe, last year or possibly the year before. And we are growing in terms of our ability to use the platform because it's extremely powerful and has the potential to be a dashboard right down to the classroom level, where teachers can access the students in their class and see all of the interventions that have been offered to the learner, as well as achievement data and assessment data.
So if that child moves, then does that record follow them? Does it have the potential to follow them?
Sorry, I missed the first part of the question.
If that child moves out of district, does that file follow that child to another district if they have the same platform?
It does not.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, Mike?
Yeah, I find the images, the pie chart and the bar chart to be too small for me to read. And I'd like to make a motion that higher resolution images be updated to the agenda packages on the internet so that everybody could read it better.
I don't
Looking
believe
for a seconder.
I think you can have a suggestion that we try to accommodate those with visual impairments. That's part of our accessibility plans and our inclusion plans. So thank you. We'll note that, and I think administration will do their best. It doesn't have to be a motion. Other questions? Okay, all in favor of receiving the Indigenous Education Report? Thank you, passed. Welcome back. Oh, did we lose? No, that's his hand. Oh, no, there is Wayne. Now I see you. Great. Yeah, great. Thank you. Okay, we'll now move on to the standing committee reports, and we'll start with Trustee Ed Harrison, looking after the business committee report.
Thank you, Chair. The business committee material is page 60 through 74, and the minutes are as attached. And I would move that the minutes of the business committee meeting held October the 9th, 2024 be received for information.
A seconder for that motion, Julia. Any questions on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor? Mike, are you going to pass on the business ones?
I'm going to abstain on it. I have no idea of the accuracy of anything there.
Okay. All in favor? Over here. Sorry, I was looking up there. Passed. Thank you. Go ahead, Ed, with number 10.12.
Next one is on page 63, item number 10.1.2. The Ministry of Education Data Management 1701 preliminary report. The attached Ministry of Education and Childcare Data Management 1701 ECHO report dated October the 11th, 2024 for Coast Mountain School District details the preliminary student headcount and student full-time equivalent, the FTE, count for the funding purposes as of September the 27th, 2024. Public school districts were required to submit their 1701 preliminary reports on October the 4th, 2024 to the Ministry of Education and Childcare. The information collected on Form 1701 is used in the calculation of the FTE students for public schools. The FTE values are then used to determine funding levels for these schools. This information is also used to monitor various enrollment trends and programs offered by the BC school system. The Ministry of Education and Childcare then processes the 1701 preliminary data received and provides school district with an ECHO report detailing any potential errors for resolution. School district must then provide any resolutions to the ministry for the completion of the 1701 verification report and final sign off by October the 21st, 2024. The business committee discussed the preliminary report at its October the 9th, 2024 meeting and forwards to the board for information. The recommended.
I just need to, this report is the preliminary report. And since it went into the ministry for corrections and verification, there has been a change in the number of FTEs slightly, and I just want to flag that for the board. According to this report, our number of total FTEs on page 67 is 4,160.4375. And after some verification and duplicates with other districts, our final FTE as of Monday is 4,157.5625. This is not any anything of anomaly. There often is slight changes with children that could end up being double booked in 2 different school districts. So this, I just like the record to reflect that there has been adjustment and the final document has been signed. No, you go ahead.
Okay. The recommended action is that the board receive for information the Ministry of Education and Childcare data management 1701 preliminary report reflecting students eligible for funding as of September the 27th, 2024.
And so moves a seconder, please. Karen? Any further questions for Ginger to walk us through, Ed or Mike? Sorry.
Yes, I just want to make sure that I'm getting it right here. It has the number down below it on the page that has been printed. It says 4160.8125, and the correct number is 4167.7265.
Yes, I believe so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, all in favor of the motion? Pass. Thank you. We move to the Education Committee reports from Trustee Barry.
All right. Hey, thank you, Chair. All right, let's go 10.2 is the Education Committee report. You can find that, or the minutes, pardon. You can find that on pages 75 to 78. I'd like to present the minutes as attached. And the recommended action is that the minutes of the Education Committee meeting held September 25th be received for information.
Can I have a seconder for Karen's motion? Thank you, Julia. Any questions? All in favor of the minutes? And if passed, and Mike, you're against abstaining?
Yes, I don't know what happened at that meeting.
Okay. Carry on. Okay, it passed.
Okay, I missed something here. All
You're
right,
looking for page 75 to 79. No,
yeah,
80 to 85.
okay, I am good here. Okay, so. All right, so 10.2.2, we have board approval in principle, level 5 field trips. There are 2 submissions. They are out of province field trip for Caledonia Secondary School. The school wind ensemble, Kermode Choir and Jazz Band, and that is planned for May 14th to 19th, 2025. And the second one is an out-of-country field trip, Bear Valley School Travel Club, May 29th to June the 6th, 2025. So in accordance with the policy 1080, field trips and outdoor education, board approval in principle is required for all level 5 field trips prior to initiating, planning, or fundraising, and prior to promoting with students or the community. Level 5 field trips encompasses all trips regardless of duration that travel outside of provincial and national jurisdiction. Final board approval is required for all level 5 field trips with the submission of the completed field trip application to the board within the following timelines. A, within Canada, 60 days. B, international, 120 days. The attached board approval submissions or in principle submissions are presented to the board for approval, including a synopsis or summary of the respective level 5 field trip. Number 1 is the out of province field trip to Music Fest Canada, held in Toronto, Caledonia Secondary School Wind Ensemble, Kermode Choir and Jazz Band, May 14th to 19th. And the second one is out of country field trip to Costa Rica and Panama for Bear Valley School Travel Club, and that's scheduled May 29th to June the 6th, 2025. The Education Committee reviewed the above mentioned field trip submissions for the board approval in principle at its October 9th, 2024 meeting and forwards to the board with a recommendation for approval. Okay, so it looks like, do we have 2 motions in one here?
Separately.
I'll read them separately. Okay, the first one, that the board approve in principle the out of province field trip to Music Fest Canada for Caledonia Secondary School Wind Ensemble, Kermode Choir and Jazz Band to be held May 14th to 19th, 2025 in Toronto.
Karen so moves, the seconder. Ed? Any questions? All in favor? Oh, Mike, a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion that the board strike that policy. I believe that the effect of it is that not all students in our districts are able to participate in such quite extravagant vacations, and I just think that if these could be dealt with from an administrative position rather than at a board level, then it wouldn't be as much rubbing it into some other people's face. I wonder if I could get a seconder.
I don't see a seconder. Julia, you had a question? No? All in
No,
favor?
I don't.
All in favor of the motion that Karen made? Yes? All in favor? Okay. Second motion.
Okay,
Karen?
second motion, that the board approve in principle the out-of-country field trip to Costa Rica and Panama for Bear Valley Schools Travel Club to be held May 29th to June the 6th.
Moved by Karen, second by Julia. Any questions? All in favor I'm gonna see Wayne's hand come up first.
Yeah.
Pass, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so now we go to 10.2.3, board approval, final applications, level 5 field trips. Okay, there's 2 submissions here. Caledonia Secondary School Travel Club, and it's for spring break 2025. The second one is Mount Elizabeth Middle Secondary School Travel Club, spring break 2025. So the following out-of-country final field trip applications as attached were presented and reviewed by the Education Committee. Caledonia Secondary School Travel Club's participation in a 12-day tour of Italy, March 17th to 29th, 2024. The board approval in principle of this out-of-country field trip was received on October 25th, 2023 as attached. Mount Elizabeth Middle Secondary School Travel Club's participation in 11-day tour of Italy and Greece, March 14th to 24th on 2024. Anyway, board approval in principle for this out-of-country field trip was received May 24th, 2023 as attached. In order to meet the prescribed approval timeline, the completed field trip applications required the Education Committee's review and consideration at its October 9th, 2024 meeting, then forwarded to the regular board meeting for the board's final approval on October 23rd, 2024. The Education Committee recommended these out-of-country field trip applications be forwarded to the board for final approval. So we have 2 motions here. The dates.
The dates are wrong.
2025.
Yeah, correct the dates, please.
Okay, so I will correct this. I thought, is it me? No, it's not. Okay, the first motion, that the board approve the Caledonia Secondary School Travel Club out-of-country field trip application to Italy for March 17th to 29th in 2025 at no cost to the board and subject to ensuring the safety of students and adhering to federal and provincial travel advisories, regulations, and protocols throughout the travel dates.
So moved by Karen. Can I have a seconder? Second, Ed, thank you. Any questions with the date change? Mike, you had another question?
Is that, I was wondering if it was already approved while we're voting on it. It's a date change?
Yes, it is. Yeah, 2025. Yeah.
All right.
It's an error in the typing. Yeah, okay, all in favor? Pass, thank you.
Okay, so now we have the second motion, that the board approve the Mount Elizabeth Middle Secondary School out-of-country field trip application to Italy and Greece, March 14th to 24th, 2025, at no cost to the board and subject to ensuring the safety of students and adhering to federal and provincial travel advisories, regulations, and protocols throughout the travel dates.
So moved by Karen, a seconder. Somebody please second. Thank you, Julia. Any further questions? All in favor? Pass.
Margaret, just a comment. So on the original paperwork, it has a date of 14th of March, 2024. That's on the Coast Mountain form. I think it's the first page. Oh, second page. We may want to amend that just for administrative purposes.
Perfect. Thank you for reading it carefully. Yeah, we'll check all of those dates.
Okay. All right, now moving along
to 10.24.
Yeah, that's the 2024-2025 draft Enhancing Student Learning Report. All right, so I present this report as written.
Yeah, Janet gets to present it.
Oh, do you? Okay. Oh, there you go, Janet.
Oh, thank you, Trustee Donkin. I appreciate that very much. The framework for enhancing student learning is British Columbia's approach to continuous improvement in public education. The framework brings a formalized approach to the planning and reporting expectations for schools with a focus on enhancing student learning and success. It combines accountability with evidence-based or evidence-informed decision-making and system-wide continuous improvement to support equity of outcomes for all learners in the provincial K-12 system. It also reflects a public commitment to Indigenous peoples, Indigenous rights holders, education partners, and communities to work together to improve student learning and enhance the intellectual, social, and career development of all learners. For the information of the board, this document is created on an annual basis, reflecting the achievements of the year that was. So district staff prepared this report in July and August based on evidence of student learning from the 23-24 school year. The document is created in two parts. Section A is reflecting on student learning outcomes, and there are pages and pages of intellectual and social emotional learning across the school year. And part B, section B of the report, talks about the work of the school district moving forward based on the evidence from section A. The draft of the Enhancing Student Learning Report was presented to the Education Committee on October the 9th. The report follows the ministry required template and as I mentioned, comes in two sections. In addition to the evidence of student learning, as well as the moving forward section, we have also incorporated feedback from the Ministry of Education from last year's Enhancing Student Report. There is a feedback loop from the ministry every year. So once the board approves this Enhancing Student Learning Report, it goes to the ministry, and the ministry will forward to us any feedback they have pertaining to next year, and perhaps items that we may want to include or include more of. So I present this Enhancing Student Learning Report to the board for your consideration.
Karen, do you so move that the
I
board
so
approve?
move.
Yeah, Karen so moved. Seconder? Ed? Any questions? Julia, you have a question? No? Okay.
No, I was
Mike?
seconding.
Okay, thank you. Mike, you have a question?
Yes, once again, the graphs are too small for me to be able to clearly make out where the lines are and also what color the lines are. I had a question about the ministry's requirements on this. It says that it's to be, where's our deadline on this thing? Could anybody help me out with the deadline on it?
Go ahead, Janet.
I don't know what I know what you're referring to. I don't know what the deadline is, but I can tell you that our district was due to present this report to the Education Committee in September, and there was no Education Committee meeting in September, and therefore it went to the October Education Committee and is 1 month technically late to the Ministry of Education. They are aware of the circumstances and have approved the date change.
Okay, so has this document been presented to the ministry, or do we have to wait for board approval to submit it?
It will, we have to pass this motion to submit it. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a terrible situation to put us into. This is all information that we should consider carefully, because this is really the meat and potatoes of what we're to do. So I mean, I don't see anything in here that I would object to, obviously, but
Okay.
but we're not I think that we should table this document for discussion in the future, and I think that our board should have a serious discussion about these things on the basis that we really should know it.
So as your chair, I'll take that as a recommendation, not as a motion, but we'll do the motion that's been presented ahead of time, because I agree, it's all very, very good information for us to understand and be aware of. I also ask that you speak with Carol and that we can accommodate your visual and needs. Please identify to her what those needs are, and we can do an accommodation to make sure that things are happening. So I'll call for the vote on this if there's no more questions. All in favor of submitting this report, receiving and submitting? Okay, passed. Thank you.
Okay. Final one here. It's 10.2.5, the 2024-2025 draft school improvement plans. And this is again for Janet.
Thank you, Trustee Youngman. The school improvement plans are very closely aligned to the district's Enhancing Student Learning Report. So the goals from the strategic plan flow down and create the Enhancing Student Learning Report, and then further vertical alignment occurs when you have schools creating their school improvement plans that are also tied directly to the board's strategic plan, as well as the Enhancing Student Learning Report. An overview of the draft plans, including a video sample of a school improvement plan, was shared at the Education Committee on October the 9th. And a link to the school district's website will provide readers with a view of all of the school plans that have been submitted. And people are welcome to look at those school plans, ask questions about those school plans, and we will be focusing on those school plans throughout the year at Education Committee.
Okay, there's a motion that the board approve the 2024-2025 school improvement plans.
That's so moved. Yeah.
So moved by Karen. Second, Julia. Thank you. Any questions on the school improvement plans? As Janet shared, we will be discussing them over the year. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, there's 200, by my count, and I might be a little off, but there's 223 pages of that to study. And I also want to say thank you very much to Carol for getting that out to us a bit early. And also, I'm not sure if it goes to Carol or whether it goes to one of the superintendents, but thank you for including the previous year's school plans, because that's important for reference to see what the plan was, how well they did, and the continuation of the plan. It's a spectrum. And again, this is, I believe, a materials that every one of us as trustees should be familiar with. And I'd like that to be tabled for a future discussion as well.
Yeah, it certainly, that is in the plans as Janet reported. Yeah.
Another thing that I'd like to say about that is that it's obvious about these plans, and the improvement from the first year that I was a trustee is very encouraging. But there's an awful lot of people that put a lot of work into those documents, and they did that for us. Mm-hmm. So I'm just thinking that it's disrespectful of us to, give them a quick scan and pass them and we're done with it. I don't believe in that. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. And if I could have a vote in favor, please. All in favor? Hands all went up. Thank you. Passed. Okay, now we get an awful lot of paper here. Yeah. So the next state, there is no new business to report. I have the trustees chair report, my report in your package. I'll just review a couple of things. First of all, welcome Tracy to your first meeting, and we're very pleased you're here.
Thank you.
And thank you, Janet, for the mentorship and the cross training and welcoming of our new superintendent to her role. I did have a chance to meet with Tracy and cover some of the board things that are on our working agenda. And thank you, Ed, for being able to attend that with me so we can get started and we'll work together and have student success, which is what we're all aiming for. I did want to share what's been happening a little bit with BCPC because I'm the Northwest director there. And we're doing a lot of discussion right now on diversity, inclusion, and cultural competencies and what is the effect on the workplace in schools. So I did have the opportunity to take the diversity, equity, and inclusion course from them. And all trustees are eligible for those courses. Some of them will cost. But look on the BCPC site, and if you see courses that you think are relevant to the work that we need to do at the board level, let's ask and see if it can be accommodated. It may not be able to, but I was able to persuade getting this one for free, so I did it that way. And part of also doing that is that this month is Inclusion Month, and we want to be respectful and celebrate diversity of everybody and have them included as much as they can to live independently and live to their fullest potentials. The board advocacy letter was sent to candidates, and thank you, Carol, for getting those out to all of the candidates. We only heard back from one, but hopefully we got our message out in terms of the needs for recruitment, retention, adequate funding, buildings being old, busing being a challenge, and things like that. And then lastly, BCPC has been very busy in terms of sending out newsletters, etc. And two of the new areas that they district staff will probably be addressing more than us is there's new accessibility standards required in the province. And I understand that superintendents and others are starting to work on that, but we may have some work to do there. And then also BCPC is really looking at conflict of interest and the issues happening with it. So we may have some work to do that way as that information comes down to us. And next month will be a busy month because we have Academy and there'll be lots of discussions, I'm sure, on recruitment and retention and how can we have adequate staffing in our schools that way. And in the in-camera meeting, we completed the board evaluation and we determined that we'll need more dialogue on the results and everybody will get the results so that we can set up our work plan for the year and do the improvements as the board that what we can identify. So I submit my report, please, to be received, and I've lost the page. And so submitted or approved, receipt. Karen seconded. Yeah. Any questions for anybody? Mike, go ahead.
So now you're referring to the performance evaluation of the trustees, of the board of trustees. And I'm wondering if only you and Karen were able to see the results from each trustee, or were all of the trustees permitted to see what all the other trustees had to say?
What we determined was only Karen and I right now, because it only came in yesterday, but it is going out to all trustees. That's why there's no summary of the results. Yeah, because all trustees need to see the results and identify what improvements do we want to do as a team.
I just want clarification. Is every trustee going to see what the answers to each of those questions was of every other trustee?
Yes, they will. Yeah. And then we will be as a team determining our next steps. Does that answer your question, Mike?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Trustee reports, 12.2. Anybody wish to share something? Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time in Kitimat trying to inform people of the importance of finding suitable candidates to run for that position. In the last, like in the 2022 election, only one candidate ran for Kitimat, and they had to extend the nomination period to get another candidate. So this time around, I'd like to see a sea of strong candidates running for that position.
Okay, thank you for your comment. I need to correct you. There were two or three people for sure. Yeah, that were ran in Kitimat in 2022. Yeah.
Well, there was one initially. They extended the nomination period, so there were two candidates for two positions.
Yeah, that's right. We did. Yeah.
And no vote.
No, there was, yeah, acclamation occurred in many areas. Yeah. Okay, any other trustee reports? Seeing none, I think we can have a motion to, question period, sorry. Any questions? You have a question? No? Terry, do you have a question for us?
No, I'm great. Thank you for tonight.
Okay, Cheryl, any question? Thank you for participating and reaching out, listening to us. Any last questions? No? A motion for adjournment, please. So moved by Karen, done. Yeah. Hey, thank you all.
You, Chair.
You're welcome.